All right, so Zeus will be getting a little bit of a rework just because I think his kit doesn't flow the best, and he has a few pain points that I just want to address within this rework. And also the ultimate is just a little bit lame, if you will. It's just a big damage circle, so that's going to be getting a complete rework in what it does, and just is going to be brand new ultimate pretty much. So he gets that more Smite 2 modern feel compared to other gods. So let's get into it. The one would now scale off ability damage and would proc both A items and ability items. So, well, it'll still scale off the original int that it does, so ability Zeus doesn't take a hit, but this is mainly just a buff to the strength side of Zeus, just to make sure his strength aspects feel good. Because right now, if you go Zeus strength, your 1 is mainly just a way to build up your charge for your 3 and for your autos, and to get a little bit more AoE damage. Besides that, you're not really feeling like you want to use this ability, but now this gives you actual incentive to use it because it now scales well with A items and auto attack items. So secondly, the thing that also buffs Mage Zeus is going to be your 1v1 bounces, your 1v1 and a 1v1, excuse me, your chain lightning will now bounce to you. So you're acting like your shield from Smite 1, it'll bounce to you, bounce back, bounce to you, bounce back. So you can actually stack up enough charges and get enough damage in the 1v1, so you just don't feel useless against someone in the 1v1 if you can't get your chain lightning off. So that's just the blatant change that just buffs Zeus entirely. And also it's just a slightly longer range, so you can actually feel like you can throw it out in a team fight and not just get called out and just be like, hey, pluck this Zeus Sobek, hey, pluck this Zeus Hercules, hey, Fenrir, go jump on him and pull him in with your ultimate, right? Because you're so vulnerable when you're doing this. So just gonna address that by just making it a little bit longer of a range, a little bit longer than basic attack range, like maybe 5 more units worth of range or 10 more units depending on what you want, but not as long as Stomp and not as short as a basic attack. Then the 2 would now be, it's just a bug fix mainly, just to make sure that there's a bug right now where if you get interrupted, you pretty much just lose all the effects of your 2 and it goes on cooldown. So if you get interrupted while you're using it, it just goes on cooldown for some reason. And it's no way that's intentional because it doesn't work like that for Jormungandr and Smite 1. It actually just resets the cooldown and you get no benefit. And then if you use it again, you get the benefit. So either make it go on cooldown anyways and give you the effects, or make it to where it stops you from doing it and you have to reactivate it again to get the effect. Either one is fine, just don't have it just disappear out of the fabric of existence. And also just give it a slightly bigger radius just to make sure that you don't have to be like face to face with someone just to use it. Now the ultimate is going to be the only other thing getting a change, because I think the 3 is relatively a perfect ability. They already did what they needed by not making the charges fall off and also giving it to the point where it stuns if you're at stage 3 of it. But besides that, I think the 3 is literally perfect. It's probably his best ability. Besides, I think the 2 is kind of an interesting design. But now onto the ult that is actually getting the rework, the full-on rework. His new ultimate will be called Lightning's Call. And pretty much what this does is it sends Zeus into an overclock mode or overdrive mode, whatever you want to call it. And it fills him with lightning for 6 seconds. And during these 6 seconds, his auto attacks will go further, go faster, and do 2 times item proc damage. And then also, he can end this early and call down a big lightning bolt, and it will do damage based on the time left, which, that's perfect design. It has the mix of not being too annoying to use for AA gods, because the first thing you get is the AA function of it. And then secondly, you get to call down this lightning bolt based on how much time you have less. So it's also good for the ability based Zeus. And even if you just want a quick finisher, if you're AA Zeus, you can still do it, right? So it'll just scale based off how much time is left. So the more time you have on the clock, so if you do it right at 6 seconds, it does full damage. If you do it at 1 second, it does 1/6 of the damage, right? So it'll probably be in line with like a Cuckoo ult in terms of damage, just because it's not going to be a big area. It's going to be like the size of Baron's Brew. And yeah, that will be the changes for the ult. And also, forgot to mention, while you're in overdrive mode or overclock mode, your abilities also get a buff. So your passive would now stack fully on any one hit. So you throw a chain lightning out and it hits 5 enemies, they're all full lightning. You can snap one with your finger and they're all stunned. So that's just a nice buff to AA. So now you don't have to stack it up. And now you also get your chain lightning faster for ability. So if you want to throw your chain lightning out 3 and then finally use your ult, that'll probably take like 2 seconds off the clock, but you're still getting a lot of value since you don't have to build up chain lightning on people. Or whatever that didn't charge us on people. Then the 1 is now going to give you a poly proc if it bounces to yourself. So this is more useful in the 1v1. It gives you a nice little poly proc. If it bounces to you, nothing too major, probably like a Merlin's poly proc, if you will. Not the actual ability of poly. I think that might be a little bit too strong for all this ability is going to do. And then also the 2 would now give double the stats. Now that might be crazy, but I think that's actually kind of interesting way to play the Zeus, because it gives you double stats. So it makes you, there's a fly. It makes you do double damage, and it just gives you so much more potential in what you can build on Zeus and make him feel a lot more AA central, if that's the route that you want to go. And then the 3, I couldn't think of any other way to really buff it besides just give it more damage. That's what ability users want. They just want more damage. So it's probably give it like 10 to 20 more scaling, depending on what you want. I was thinking about giving him a base kit Murden's reproc, but I think that might be too strong for our ultimate that already does cuckoo level damage of ult if you cancel early, and then also gives you full stack. So I didn't want to do it too much, but if this proved to be weak, you could just give him a staff of Murden's on his 3 instantly. So yeah, that'll be everything I would give his ultimate. And that's pretty much the Zeus rework, just make him more in line with his AA nature, and also giving him more tools to work with in terms of his ultimate and how his 1 works. So that's it. Bye.